Guys, very good evening to all of you. Welcome to the video number 409. My name is Ajay, and in this video today we are going to discuss a couple of questions on the Excel. Okay, and the topics which we are going to cover in this video, that would be on the f function, index function, indirect function, and the max function. Okay, so this is not going to be a basic Excel video. This is more of a like intermediate level of a video, right? You should know these tricks which I'm going to share it with you, and a couple of things I got it from my latest the training which I had with my students, and from there I got a couple of very good questions from students. So I just thought, as usual, let's go ahead and share those things with you. If you're watching the channel for the first time, then we have got all these 409 videos on Excel, Excel VBA, Access, and Access VBA. So basically 4 subjects we are covering, right? And you can go on my front, the front page of my channel. Just find there a playlist. When you click on the playlist, these are all the different categories, right, which you will see, and accordingly you can choose the subject. If you're looking for the Excel VBA, you should find a title with the Excel VBA. If you're looking for the Excel only, you should find this kind of a playlist which talks about the count and the sum family. Okay, so and the same for the Access and Access VBA. Now this video which I'm recording right away, this you would see here in the Excel VBA Access interview questions, where we have already got amazing 41 videos, right? So if you're preparing for Excel interview or a VBA interview or Access interview, you should go to this playlist and watch all these videos one by one. So let us go ahead and start today's question. So the first the question actually is this is, let me delete that. So basically what we have gotten here is that if you see this the question says that column A as an answer for you, we need to create a serial numbers wherever we have a value in the column D. So basically this is where we will write our formula, and the formula should look like this. So what we are doing is we are simply actually saying that for any value there should be a serial number, and it should be in a proper sequence, it should be in a proper order, right? Now generally when you write anything, you simply just go and drag the things like this. You use the this fill series, basically the option, but this is something we are not looking forward to. We need that the serial numbers should come in a proper sequence only when we have some value in the D column. So how we are going to do that, right? So you can pause the video, you can try it, and you can come back and see how I'm doing it. If you have something different way, please share it just below this video. And if I find it that this is something I haven't covered it, we will go ahead and upload the video on the same, right? So the first thing what actually I'm thinking right now is that we just go ahead and first of all use the function here that which simply says that if this value is not equals to blank, and let me just get the one, otherwise space. So this is what I want to do. So we will the if function will go here, and it will find that if the value is not blank, which in my case is not, as you can see there is a value ABC, so we manually printing the 1 here. This is only for the first cell. Okay, if I just go ahead and delete this, what will happen? You will have space coming here. Perfect. Let me undo that. Now what is the next thing I want to do? Now the next thing is very interesting. Might be a very new thing for you if you do not know Excel so well. So please watch out for this trick. So what I actually want to do is I say that if, again use the if condition, if you are not equals to blank, which means if you have some value, then guys what I will do, I will pick up the maximum value from the upper cell, not from the upper cell, but I'm not going to use this as like this C2. I'm going to in fact use this as C2 to C2. What is the reason for that? Reason is that because right now you can use the max C2 or you can use the max C2 colon to C2. Both have the same answer, right? You're gonna have the maximum number, obviously, right? But why we are doing this? Why we are basically not selecting just C2, and why we are doing this kind of a C2 colon to C2? Because of the reason that when I drag this function, I will drag it in this way. C2 will remain as it is, and the lower portion of the C2 we will not freeze this. We will not put the $sign here. Okay, if you're not going to put the $sign, then what will happen? C2 will change to C3, and then C4, and the C5. So what happens? Your table will start expanding. So this is a powerful example of using the dollar sign. Generally people think that dollars are very easy to handle. I mean, because most of the time we always freeze the the start value and the end value, right? We freeze the table. If you are a regular user of if we look up index functions, then you know what I'm talking about, right? But in this case we are not going to do that. Now once I find the maximum number, which is 1, in this case I'm going to add 1 to it, so that I should have the new serial number. And if this is not the case, if D3 is going to be blank, then that's fine. We just need the blank value, right? So that's how you're gonna have the value. Now when you drag this, obviously here if you press F2, what will happen? You know that this is blank, right? So that's why you don't see anything here, because your condition actually, this not equals to blank fails, right? This condition comes as false, and if this is false, then obviously the if function will go in the value false. Just in case if you do not know, if you don't have that kind of a good understanding on the if functions, please go and check my playlist Excel if functions. Okay, there are very amazing videos there starting from the scratch. You will find the basic level videos and the videos for the intermediate users, and at the same time very classy advanced if functions as well, right? So now it will be very interesting to see if I further just pull this down function, the formula, what will happen. Now you see that I start getting A2. Now this is amazing. Now what is the trick? If you look at this F2, can you see that this is your table now? So guys, the table is expanding, right? When I started it, the table started only from C2 to C2, but then naturally what happens, as a Excel golden rule, this row will keep on incrementing. So now you have your table like C4, and obviously in this range, if you go and find out the max value, you will have the maximum serial number. The serial numbers we are printing here in the ascending order, so it will pick up the max number and it's going to add to it. That's it. So you just drag this and this is what you're going to get. Look at this. We have the serial numbers. This is done, guys. Bingo. Right? Now if you want to change something, for example, if I just delete that, look at this. It is going to shift automatically, isn't it? Like, looks like a VBA program. Looks like it's a kind of a macro, right? It is not, right? This is a plain simple my loving if function, right? But couple of things you have made it. I think most important part of this exercise is the max formula, not the max formula, but how you are using the table range in the max formula. So I hope you enjoyed this this particular question. Let's go to the next question and let's see. The next, actually the question is that who's got the second highest marks here? Provided a condition, let me tell you, provided a condition that marks are not repeating, because the exercise is not for the repetition. Okay, so every marks actually, so what I'm saying is that Ajay should not have the 44 here, because that's something math has already gotten, right? We have, I mean, the solution for that as well, but that's not I'm covering here. I believe that we guys, this basically in this D, everybody has got the unique marks. Now how are you going to get the second highest marks? Now if you're thinking of the max, then please don't think, because max always returns the largest number, highest number. So you need a sum function which can return you the second highest mark. So that's why you're going to use the large function. You go in this array, and then what is the k? K means the parameter. So I just give my second parameter, and I have got in here my second parameter. So once you have gotten your second parameter, it means that the second largest number it's looking, and I think 88 is the second largest number, because this is the highest number, 99. After this we have the 88 here, right? Now once you have this particular thing, you need to do, you need to find the row number of this 88. So what I will do, I will use the match function. So here you are also using the match function. I forgot to write this in my PPT title, but anyways, that's fine. So I go ahead and use this match function, and finally you get to see here the position of this, basically 88. If you start your table from here, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, oh oops, 1 2 3 4 5 6, yeah, 6, right? Guys, after once you know the position, the row number of your this second highest marks, what you will do, you will use the index function. So I use the index function. The first one, array means your table. I select this table. You must be knowing that, I hope, index function, because this is, now guys, this, as I said, this is not a basic video. This is the Excel interview questions. So obviously you appear for the interview only when you have some preparedness for that, for your subject, right? You can't go there blank, so I assume that you know the index function. But anyways, no worries. If you do not know the index function, you just go and find out the playlist Excel index function on my channel, and you can see again the basic videos, the advanced videos, everything is there. So basically in the index function, the table comes, and in the table I tell that which row number you have to pick up. So it goes in the 6, I6, which is 6, so it goes in the 6th row number, and then at the same time I'm going to use the first column like this as 1. Finally you have your value called start. Perfect, right? Just in case if you're looking for the third highest person, then you just need to change this 2 to 3 and you will have your answer. Right, now how to combine all these functions together? It's very simple. I just go ahead and first of all, again, I select this table and I want the second highest number. Okay, I get the 88. Got to find the position of this 88 in this table, so I just go and select this table. When you select this table, okay, in this table, I beg your pardon, basically lookup array comes first. What you actually want to find it out, this 66, then I go in this table. So I go in this table, and when you go in this table, you need to find the exact match. So you write here 0 and you press enter, and that's where you get to see a sixth position of this second highest number, which is 66. And finally guys, this 6 we are going to use in the index function. So we are using 3 functions, right? This is something which I also teach in my online classes, right? How to basically make a big formula using the different Excel functions, right? So now I go in this table, and for the row number, I have already gotten my match function, which is going to return the second highest number, the position of the second highest number. And then we go in the table number, column number 1, and I just press enter, and you have your answer, guys, right? So if I just go and change this to 2, I just write here 1, that will give me the highest, the first highest person, which is Venkat. So this is how you can write this function. Let me just remove the equals to sign, and you can see this, right? So that's the question number 2 for you. Let's go to the question number 3. Question number 3 is very interesting. Can you rearrange the table C? This actually was emailed to me by my subscriber Bob, but I had talked about this in my long time back. I mean, I don't remember the video number obviously, but I will talk on this again, right? Because it has a little variance of if you read out this, what actually it says that you got to rearrange this table C values, and so it has to be in the reverse order. So this 455 should come on the top, and then we should have a FS, and then we should have a HH, and then we should have a DEF, and then we should have a ABC, and then 6633, and then again another number. So that is how basically that is how we need these numbers. We need actually to reverse this order. So it's again very simple. Simple if you know the a function called indirect function. Okay, I think I mentioned in my title as well. Yes, indirect function. Now if you do not know the indirect function, I'll brief you about the indirect function, but more detailed you can go and check out my Excel playlist called Excel indirect function. That's my basically a playlist. Okay, now indirect actually is is basically it's a function which always looks for the cell reference, cell address. But when you want to go to this, for example, if you want to go to this 455, how do you go? Generally you write this formula equals to C19, but the problem is that in this situation I can't drag it, because if you drag it, the function will start incrementing the row number by 1. C19 will change to C20, and in the C20 you have again blank, as you can see here, right? Basically we want to go in the upward direction. So guys, what you need to do is, if you look at this, how we actually are able to get this 455, because I'm able to create here a reference which is called equals to C19. Now in this another cell, if I go and let's say I create this C18, and then after C18 I go ahead and create this C17, you see that what is happening if you just remove the equals to sign. So basically this is what you need to create, the cell reference. Then what we will do is, once you have this cell reference created, the next thing would be for us to just write the indirect function. We will not go directly in the cell. We will not go here. Why? Because if I just directly select this cell and if I drag it down, C19 will change to C20, and obviously you will not have a value, right? So what you need to do is basically tell your indirect that go in the F1. In the F1, whatever the cell address is there, because it is an indirect function, it will actually go there. So it goes in the A1, it finds that there is a cell address in the A1, and it picks up the value for you. If you're wondering then what is the benefit, because if you drag it down guys, if this time you drag this function, your f1 will change to f2, and in the f2 you have a c18, and in the c18 whatever value you have that would come, and if you further go ahead and drag this, the f2 will change to f3. In the f3 you already have a cell which is called c17, and you have your answer. Right? So all what you need to do is when you write the indirect functions, you just need to create the set address. You should be smart enough to create these the addresses. So what I'm going to do, it's very simple. I just go here and I write this, that if you are not equal to blank, then what I'm going to do, so I say that if the C1 is not equals to blank, then what I need to do is I want to calculate the row number of that function. So I'm going to use the row function. Row returns the row number of the cell where you're using the formula. So I'm using this on the E1 as you can see right now. So I will have the 1, right? Otherwise, you just got to maybe see it as space. Let me just press enter, and if I just drag this, I'm just trying to think what will happen. All right, so I think here we will have we should not actually write here the basically space, because we need the address. So I think what we should do is, there's no need to actually use the this if condition. You can simply write this row this way as well. You just go and just drag this down. Finally, you have all the row numbers here. Once you have all the row numbers here, then the next thing would be to basically write here 19 and then 18, 17, 16, 15, right? So in order to do that, I'm going to use the large function again guys. So I just go in this table and I say that what is the first largest number I want. So to do the first largest number, you got to write here 1, but I'm going to automate this. Now how are you going to get the 1? Because the next time when you drag this down in the G2, you should actually see the second largest number and third largest number. In that way, you will have the series 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, right? You're getting my point. So this is a manual one, so I'm just going to change it to I'm just going to change it to a row of maybe A1, or you can also remove that. Both the things are fine, right? Because you know that the row number of A1 will always be 1, and the moment I drag this function down, row A1 will change to row A2, row A3, row A4. So what you are doing is you are actually telling your large function to pick up the largest number, the second largest number, then the third largest number, and the fourth largest number. In that way, this is going to work. So I just press yes, and finally you have your answer, and we're just going to freeze this everything here. And now if I drag this, look at this, what will happen. So finally guys, you created the series. Wow, this is nice, right? So if you just want to understand again what happens here, if I press F2 in this table, I'm looking for the second largest number. Obviously the second largest number would be 18. So basically the point is that we wanted to create this series in the descending order, and we are finally done with that. And then you know that your column is C, so you just go and use the concatenation with this. So now you have your formula, you have your basically a cell address which I was talking about, and then you just go ahead and write the indirect function, go in the C19, and there we go. So finally guys, we have actually for 455 and then 0 and then fs. And by the way, for the 0, because that doesn't look nice, you can use the condition formatting, or maybe you can you can write here that if the output of indirect G1 is going to be or maybe I guess we can write here that if you are equals to 0, then I just want you to have a space, otherwise I'll just pick up this value. That's it, right? So in this way, what happens exactly, your table would look like this. That's how. Or you can directly also write here that if the indirect of G1 is going to be equals to 0, then the space, otherwise pick up the indirect of G1. It's just I actually try to bifurcate it. So obviously this is how you're going to actually hide this, and that's how the formula would look like, right? And this is a perfect example of your this indirect, and how beautifully actually you have used the large function. Now if you change anything here, for example, if I delete anything, you see that everything is getting deleted. Finally we have everything, the table is coming proper, you can see here, right? Just in case if you want to add something, maybe if I just drag this down, see that if I just use the fill series, you will have the sequence in the proper order, right? That's how. This is a beautiful video and on the indirect and the use of the large function. So I can unhide it, and what I did is I just use these functions. Let me just remove the space equals to from here so that you can see what exactly how we did that. So this is how the formula looks like. me double click here, and then I just remove the equals to from here as well. Okay, this is just for your knowledge, so that you shouldn't have to pause the video again and again. That's how actually I use these formulas, and finally we dragged it down, so you can have a look on these formulas, guys. Okay, now what is the next thing I want to do? So let's go to the question number 4. In this question number 4, this is what I have written here, 111, as you can see in the column D, and this is what you need to actually make. Using these cells, we need to put the formula which can give us 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. So basically the green cells are the answer. Can you populate the values mentioned in column G in column E using the column D values? Right, so this is what actually we need to do, guys. Now, so if I look at these are all, there are basically 10 the 10 rows which we are using. So what I can do is I can simply use the sum function here. I can just go ahead and sum them up. Right, now most of the time, as I was telling you earlier also, you guys have the habit of freezing the tables always, right? But it's not always the case. I understand that I think more than maybe 95% of the times we completely freeze the table, but dollars are very important. When they get used, you just can't actually just ignore them. Right, they're very powerful. Right, they're very powerful, and this is one again the second example where I'm just going to change the reference, and I'm going to show you that how impactful they can be. Okay, so if I drag this right now, you know that the answer would be 10, 10, 10, 10, and because the table is freezed, it's going to pick up all the values from this table, right, everywhere when you drag this. But ideally my approach is that first it should go like this, and then this, and then this, and then this. So automatically when the table gets reduced, or values in that table will also get reduced. So how are you going to do that? So I just go, this time I remove the dollar from the upper side. You don't need the column before the D, because when you drag it down, no, actually the column number changes. But this time I will change this. I'll keep this $10, which is the end point of this the table. Now if you drag this formula in the downward direction, this is what you will get: 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So what happens here is that if I press F2, look at this, the table is this and this and this, and the table is actually reducing, right? Why? Because as a rule, when you drag the formula in the downward direction, your the row number should change, and that is what we are doing it. We haven't frozen this row number, so what happens, D1 changed to D2, but see, basically D10 we are not changing. D10 we have kept it like that only, right? So if I just go and use all these F2 here, the table is getting reduced. So finally we have everything here. So that's how you can use this cell referencing, right? Otherwise, I mean, what we did is we just simply use the sum function. It's nothing great about using the sum function, because I mean, it's a very basic function, right? But how cleverly, how intelligently we have used these dollar signs, that was the purpose of this exercise, right? So I hope you enjoyed these all 4 questions, and so that's it. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit on the like, and I will be talking something more in my coming videos as usual. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a fantastic evening.